When Corsair came out with the 4000D and 5000D airflow cases, they immediately jumped to the top of our list for not only the commission builds we do, but for showcase builds. It felt like a true return to form for Corsair. Now they have a new model on the horizon with a hefty price tag. Is the Corsair 5000T worthy of the 5000D it was built around? And does the cost make sense? Corsair has long been known to have some of the best lighting in everything they put out. A lot of that has to do with the software iCUE. Now, one could argue that iCUE stuff does come at a cost, both from a resources standpoint and also from a wiring standpoint. But it's still one of the most comprehensive and easiest to use ecosystems available. But the cases they have put out never have had RGB built in. I mean, sure, they had overkill cases like the Obsidian 1000D, but outside of some included RGB fans or maybe a light strip or two, it wasn't really crazy innovative. And we need our RGB innovation, am I right? They were more standardized cases, some with premium airflow and not so good airflow, and you know who I'm talking to. Taking the best of both worlds, Corsair has created something for like fans of RGB, airflow, design, puppies, sharks, and avocados. Okay, maybe not those last three, but if you don't like puppies, then feel free to close this video because here we are all about puppies. Now, speaking of liking puppies, are you enjoying this video? If you want more entertaining videos like this, or maybe some more tech videos with puppies, then make sure you like and subscribe. Oh, and let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see more puppies. So without further ado, we bring you the Corsair 5000T RGB. A premium tempered glass airflow mid-tower ATX case with RGB lighting to fulfill your little heart's desire for more FPS with wow factor and more cost. You get the point. Now, mimicking distinctions from the ever-popular 5000D airflow, it was actually built on the same chassis. The 5000T adds more flair, more versatility, and is backed by Corsair's world-class customer care, a comprehensive 2-year warranty for extended peace of mind. Now, if you want to see just how similar the 5000T is to its predecessor, the 5000D, check out our full review on the 5000D right here. So let's take a gander, a stroll, a promenade around the outside of this premium case. Your two main colors are black or white that grace the overall aesthetic. It sits 560mm or 22 inches tall by 530mm or 20 inches long or 251mm or 10 inches wide. So big, 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 but not like Obsidian 1000D big. Comparing that to the 5000D, which sits at 20 inches tall and long and just under 9.5 inches wide. Side by side, you can definitely see the difference in height, but the length and the width are actually similar. The 5000T weighs around 32 pounds out of the box with no parts on it, so it's on the heavier side. I use the word heavy very heavily. I mean, this case is great for powerlifting and PC gaming, so you can get ripped while also headshotting fools. So you look good both in-game and out and about. Newton's law, by the way, the more material, meaning the bigger it is, the heavier it will be. Unless you're on the moon. Should we build this case on the moon? Elon, give me a call. I think we got an idea here for, well, at least a 5,000 view video. Maybe. But, okay, fine. That's for another episode. In the case of the 5000T material makeup, it's your typical tempered glass, steel, and ABS plastic. No real shocker here, but there's a lot of premium looking steel, so it's not quite the same. Sticking with the outside of the case, there is RGB everywhere. I mean, it's just like, brah. When I say everywhere, I'm talking 160 RGB LEDs that are integrated into the front, the roof, and the floor panels. Not even mentioning the fans that are included that have another 48 individual LEDs, bringing the total to 208 LEDs. I don't know why I'm doing that in that accent, but pulsing like a unicorn on steroids, riding a rainbow glow-in-the-dark bike while also spinning colored LEDs off of its horn and listening to EDM. I mean, picture it. It's either glorious or you may have just fainted. Back to the case. The case comes with the Commander Core XT for controlling up to 6 Corsair fans, and it also controls all the LEDs on the case via iCUE. Plus, it's cable managed already. I use the quotes because of the 3 times I've built in this case, I have had to redo the cable management for these pre-installed bits. But I also understand that I am a special breed of human, at least that's what my friends tell me, and my mom, and maybe they didn't mean in a good way. Now, what also is included in the case are 3 Corsair LL120 fans. A 3-pack of these fans retails for about $100 to $120 depending on sale price. Now, the 5000D retails for about $175, $180. So let's take that as like base price. So doing math, whoa. Hey, don't turn off the video. It's short math. But we gotta nerd out for a second. Calm down. So it's $175 for the case, $60 for the Commander Core, $120 for a 3-pack of LL120s. That brings it to $355 total. The 5000T retails at $399.99, so a little more than the total of $355, but you include the fact that you're getting light strips all around the case that go for $100 easily through Corsair, then you're actually making out pretty good. As in, you got a good deal, not making out with the case. That's gross. I mean, where would you make out with it? Maybe the light strip? The PCI slot? I don't want to know. Why did you even make me think about that? Okay, enough about math and pricing. Back to the outside of the case. The front panel and top panels are totally removable for easy maintenance. You know, in case you want to like overclock your front panel, bring it into the pit at Road America for a little tune-up. The front I/O panel has a ton of options. It's got 4 USB 3 Type A ports, 1 USB 3.1 Type C port, 1 combination audio mic jack, and your reset and power switch. All the ports you could possibly need. The outside of the case in a nutshell is fantastic, not to mention the tool-free hinge side panels that are easy to slide off once you remove that screw, of course. Remember, don't forget to remove that screw or you could break the glass. Okay, on to the interior. Any motherboard you fancy yourself will fit in here, eATX all the way down to Mini ITX/DTX. Although putting a Mini ITX/DTX board in here would look a little silly. Might want to check out our review for the Fractal Torrent Nano if you wanted to do that instead. If you are going to be installing eATX, know that you're going to have to take off that side protective panel just so you can basically make sure that you have room for the eATX motherboard. Just like we had to do for our installation of the Z690 Dark for Dish. And that's to make sure you have enough room and it comes right up against the grubber grommets. But understand, the side fan slots are now going to be exposed. And exposed sounds so scandalous. But if you want to check out what I mean, go ahead and check out the video with Dish right here. For cooling, you can fit a total of 10 120mm fans. That's right, I said 10. With 3 in the front, 3 on the side, 3 up top, and 1 in the rear. Now, if you're doing an AIO, that number is actually 13 because you can actually have the room at the top to fit 2 sets of fans and push-pull configuration. So, you can get crazy. Now, if you want to go up to 140mm fans, you can still fit 2 in the front and 2 on the top. Now, and remember, if you have an AIO, that means now you can do 4. So, bonus. Now you can mix and match these, such as 3 140mm fans in the front and 3 120mm fans on the back and blah, 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 much like you could in the 5000D. Solid choices and options here all around. Lots of fans, like I wish I had a lot of fans. But I appreciate you, my one viewer. You are my best fan. Now for your radiator support, for 120mm fan size AIOs, you can fit up to a 360mm up front or on the side and even on the top. 120mm in the rear, even with the gear. This means that 120, 240, 360 will fit in the front, side, and at the top, given that we said up to 360mm. For 140mm fan size AIOs, you can fit 280mm up in the front and at the top, meaning 140 or 280mm will fit in either location. Again, a lot of options and plenty to keep your PC cool on a hot, sunny day. Like how cool you look in our amazing Robeytech t-shirts that are bound to give you +10 attractiveness. So cool. Now on to GPUs, really. Any GPU will fit inside of this case as it supports up to 400mm in length. That massive Gigabyte Aorus Master 3090 will fit with ease. And we even did the girthy EVGA RTX 3090 Ti, and the E-leash lines up easily. So nice bonus. So what about PSUs? No different. Any PSU up to 250mm in length will fit. PSUs such as your Asus ROG Strix Thor 1200 watt, as it comes in at 190mm, will fit. Just remember, the longer the PSU, the less room you'll have for cable management under the shroud. But there is also enough room down there for quite a bit, so it shouldn't be an issue. You may have to move the hard drive cage, and if you're liquid cooling, the pump/res alternative option may not work as the hard drive cage is pushed too far forward. The more you know. But Robey, AIOs scare me and I'm afraid they're gonna leak. I wanna do air cooling. What are my options? Well, first, therapy. You shouldn't have trust issues like that. Second, any CPU air cooler up to 170mm in height will work inside the 5000T. So air coolers such as that giant Cooler Master Air Dual Tower will fit. I know 5mm clearance isn't a lot given the size of some of these big cooling towers, but it works and it will fit. Storage, Robey. I have storage. What are we looking at? There is enough room in the 5000T for two 3.5-inch HDDs or four 2.5-inch SSDs, so no need to worry about storage room. However, the more physical drives you add, like hard drives and SSDs, add SATA cables to them, so you will have more cables to manage. And no one likes cable spaghetti. No one. All right, that's the case overview and all of its goodness. Phew, that was a lot to cover. Wait, I did forget to add something. Each part the 5000T is made from, such as the tempered glass panel, the top panel, motherboard, cable covers, fans, feet, dust, filters, etc., is available to purchase directly from the product pages of the case on Corsair's site. And you can find them all down in links in the description below. So what do you think? Is this case for you? Wait, oh, crud. Hold on, Robey. I thought we were gonna do a build in thermals for all of us. Yeah, you actually need to know how it performs. Okay, well, let's just jump right into that. We're using the Intel Core i9 12900K, Strix Z690E gaming Wi-Fi. We're gonna be using the Corsair H150 Elite LCD. So we are gonna be push-pulling on this AIO, which is something we can do in the 5000T. We have integrated LL120s that come with the case. We're gonna be adding another 3 LL120s. The brand new Corsair iQ LC100s. These are their new triangle RGB panels, just to add a little RGB awesome to this. Samsung 980 Pro, and then we're also going to be using a 1 terabyte FireCuda 530. We're going to use the Corsair HX 1000i, the Asus ROG Strix GeForce RTX 3080, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 Dominator Platinum RGB. We'll start putting our PC together. Boom. There is our beautiful CPU ready to go. So we're going to be sticking his 1 terabyte here. Look at that heat, like it's got an additional heat sink on it. That's crazy. Okay, so there's our FireCuda 530, absolutely bonkers NVMe SSD. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's all the stuff in there. There you go, just get a little bit of thermal paste on there. Ugh. Okay. When it is fully stripped, this thing is still pretty hefty. Just as an FYI. Let us put our motherboard in, finally. And there is our board. So many peels. Look at that. Ooh, that red looks nice. There we go. Here we go, guys. Yeah. Oh my gosh. How would I describe building in the Corsair 5000T? In a word,
heavy.
I mean, I love the premium look and the feel of this case. And when you look and see the builds we built in it, you can make some truly spectacular machines inside of this case. But all that armor, which I think could also save you at a gunfight if you're like fine lugging around a 35-pound weight, comes with some powerlifting as you're working your way around this case and doing your build. Now, outside of the heaviness, this system really is just like building in the Corsair 5000D because essentially it is a Corsair 5000D with the pros and the cons. You get all the flexibility and room and cable management awesome that the case is known for, but you also get like the weird issues with the routing with the side panel and on getting things through the rum or grommets if you want to not install those side fans. But let's be honest, those are very small gripes, and this case makes up for it in spades in both cooling potential and just options for your build. It is hands down one of the best cases on the market, and so the 5000T gets all of the benefits from being on the same platform. One thing I will mention though, is that for all of the premium, my only gripe is how poorly cable managed the 5000T comes from the factory. I mean, one of the selling points is that all of that RGB awesome is hooked up and cable managed so you don't have to. But the cables coming off the front fans are pretty loose and need to be hidden better. The cable clump running to the back is a little bit unwieldy, and even how it's managed going into the commander core isn't the best. I mean, I wouldn't mention it if it wasn't one of the marketing hypes around this case, so just know you may have to spend some time here to make things a little bit better. Small gripe, but I felt it was worth noting. So you mentioned thermals being great, Robey. With the build you did, were the thermals actually good? Glad you asked. It's been slow for a bit in this review, and now it's time to get things pumped. Let's rage on thermals! We set this up for the best possible chance of success, by the way, when we were putting our ultimate system inside of the 5000T. Now, I mean, it's no Jay's 2 cents air conditioning rig, which is good, but this will actually look way better on your desk than his rig did. Now we're cooling this 12900K with an H150i Elite Capellax LCD in a push-pull configuration, meaning fans are on the top and on the bottom of the radiator, using the Noctua NFF12 3000 RPM fans for the push and Corsair ML120 Elites for the pull in an intake configuration. We also filled every fan slot we could because, well, science. So let's kick it off with our CPU core temperatures, given the 12900K is anything but one might consider a cool CPU. So at idle, sitting there inside of the Corsair 5000T surrounded by a vortex of air from all those fans, we saw things sitting at a nice and cool 26 degrees in both the closed and open case scenario. So what happens when we light off the boomstick and shift the CPU into drive? Well, we see things pop up to a nice and moderate 72 degrees in the open case and a little warmer 76 in the closed case. For a 12900K under load, that is a great temperature, and that's with no undervolting either. Nice. So what about your 12GB GPU, Robey? How did the Strix hold up, that 3080 Strix, with it being neighbors next to that hothead 12900K? Well, first and foremost, Intel is going to therapy for that, making it less of a hothead, and second, well, honestly, quite well. At idle, the GPU is sitting at a nice 32 degrees in the closed case scenario and popped up to a warmer 38 in the closed case. So how about when you took this to like your local all-night solitaire tournament and did some hardcore card sorting? Hey, look, it's a real esport. You'll see, it's gonna be huge. The problem was it didn't tax the GPU at all, so we had to do our normal benchmark. So we saw things pop up to a very manageable 65 in the open case and 70 degrees in the closed case when we were actually using real games. So thermals were good. That bodes well. Premium case, premium thermals, premium TechTuber. I mean, it's all wins here. So curious, Robey, how did that 12900K and 12GB 3080 actually do in a little real gaming, not that dumb solitaire league you were in? My solitaire league is elite. I'll have you know. Anyway, our 12900K paired with an Asus RG Strix RTX 3080 12GB did the following in games. First up at single player NVIDIA tuned experiences, aka games favoring NVIDIA GPUs. For our Tomb Raider running at 1440p with DLSS on the highest preset, we saw an average frame rate of 236 FPS across all the runs we did on the game. So go forth and raid tombs. In game. Sorry, not real life. I can't tell you how hard it would be to actually raid tombs with this thing on your back. It's really heavy. Now for Metro Exodus, also running at 1440p with ray tracing on high and DLSS set to ultra performant, we saw an average FPS across our runs of 98.96. Not bad, not bad at all. Now for some of those AMD single player experiences, again, meaning these games favoring AMD. First up, Dirt 5, 1440p with ultra high graphic settings, we saw an average frame rate of 137.4, which is perfect for racing at north of 120 frames per second, so yeah. Rounding out the single player experiences with Borderlands 3, running at the highest graphical preset, we saw an average FPS of 109.61. For a single player FPS, that is more than reasonable, but you're going to need to turn down some stuff if you want to get that magical 120 FPS number, if you care. You shouldn't. So what about MP games? Well, this is where you should care. Well, for Apex Legends, running on low visual settings at 1440p, optimized for competitive gameplay and high frames per second, we saw an average frame rate of 278.2 FPS across our multiple gaming sessions. 244 Hz refresh easily. For Call of Duty Warzone, again on low visual settings at 1440p, optimizing for competitive frame rate, we saw 213.2. So again, fine, if fine equals awesome. Finally, for Fortnite, again at 1440p, on low visual settings set for competitive play, you're sitting at a still very fluid and high 458.5 frames per second. Now, you might see some slower numbers there if you play the game now, given some engine changes, but it is still worth noting that it'll be north of 400 regardless. By the way, we have links to all these parts below, so if you like this build and the way it looks, then take a look and you can follow along with our live build, which is right here, and build it yourself. So wrapping it all up, the 5000T is a 5000D in military armor with lots of bright lights. Well, if military armor was also made to look aerodynamic and aesthetically pleasing, which, I mean, in Call of Duty games it does. It has all the awesome benefits of the Corsair 5000D, but weighs more and can be seen from the International Space Station every time it passes over your house. I mean, it's like moving from a Mercedes SUV to a G-Wagon. You get all the awesome engineering, but now all the street cred and paparazzi as well. Corsair did a lot to justify the cost when you think about all the lights, the commander core, and the materials that this case includes, and I can see why it costs what it costs. It's extra. Just as my 14-year-old daughter tells me all the time, and that's what this case is. Extra, and extra is good, according to her. Thermally, it's good, building experience is good, and everything about this case is perfected by people who are passionate about making something over the top and premium for certain people who want it. I know, I hung out with them, and they really do love this product. For you, the consumer, it's a choice. If you want all the same performance and build experience without the price, then go get the Corsair 5000D Airflow. See, if you love the look of the case and are totally down to pay the cost, and you want to make sure they use your rig to reenact that scene from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, should we ever have aliens invade, then hey, go ahead. It's an awesome case, and I literally have no reason not to recommend it other than the cost, which is completely up to you because it's your value. But what did you think? Tell us, and maybe win a little cash in the process. First and foremost, you need to leave a quality comment down below, along with liking and subscribing to the channel. Now, when I say quality comment, it doesn't need to be positive, it just needs to be something you liked or didn't like about the video. What surprised you, etc. about this case, or something I said in the video. Just not, I deserve to win, can I have a free PC in the Corsair 5000T, or something similarly lame. You also need to ensure that we have a way to reach you via your YouTube profile, like your email. Like, put your email in your YouTube profile because we will be giving away $25 to one lucky comment below that is worldwide as long as you can accept PayPal or Venmo. Now, did you like the case? Did you like the video? And was the review helpful? Do you think there is a value of the 5000T over the 5000D? Are you planning on adding the Corsair 5000D to your daily fitness regimen? And how many times will you be deadlifting it? We'd love to know all of that and more down in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, make sure you slap that subscribe button, whip that like button, and ring that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time we post a new video right here on Robeytech. Did you know we have a live stream channel for special builds and events? In fact, we build all of our builds that you usually see these reviews for live here on that channel. So check out the Robeytech Live down in the description below so you can like and subscribe to know when we actually go live. Have questions about this case or any other tech-related questions? Then check out our amazing Discord server filled with other tech and PC enthusiasts that love to share their thoughts and ideas on these very subjects. Looking for cheap tech? Then check out @RobeytechDeals.com or @RobeytechDeals on Twitter, where you can have our guy Tom scouring the internet for the best deals on all things from PC components to TVs to games. Finally, you can also follow me and my team on all the other socials @Robeytech absolutely everywhere. We hope you enjoyed this video and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.